Do you ever catch yourself thinking, if only I had started sooner? Like, you're scrolling through your feed and see someone your age, maybe younger, buying their second rental property or posting about a six-figure portfolio. And you just sit there thinking, I'm in my 30s or 40s and I can barely keep up with bills, let alone invest. And then that heavy thought creeps in. Maybe it's too late for me. If that hits a little too close to home, I want to tell you something right off the bat. It's not too late, not even close. You're not behind. You're just starting from where you are. And that's not a flaw. That's life. The truth is, most people don't start investing in their early 20s. Not because they don't want to, but because they're trying to survive. You're busy getting your degree, building a career, maybe paying off debt. Maybe you started a family, helped a parent, or just had life happen in a way that didn't leave room for stocks and portfolios. And that's okay. But here's the shift I want to help you make today. Even if you didn't start investing in your 20s, you can still build real wealth. You can still set yourself up for freedom, peace of mind, and even an early retirement, if that's your goal. You just need a strategy that actually works for this season of your life. Because let's be honest, you've probably got more responsibilities now. Mortgage or rent, kids, aging parents, a job that drains your energy. This isn't just about cutting lattes or buying index funds. You need something doable, something that fits into your real adult life. In this video, I want to walk with you through 4 simple, realistic strategies that make investing possible, even if you're starting in your 30s or 40s. And I'm not talking about chasing crypto trends or gambling with your future. I mean steady, sane, proven steps that actually move the needle. But before we get into the nuts and bolts, let's pause and talk about something that doesn't get enough airtime: the shame around late starts. Because honestly, that's where a lot of people get stuck. Not because they don't know how to invest, but because they feel like they missed the window. I remember sitting with a friend at dinner once. She was 38, a single mom of 2, working full-time and just barely getting by. She looked at me and said, "I feel like I messed this all up. I didn't start saving. I don't have a 401k. I'm tired. Is there even a point now?" And I could feel the weight in her voice, that mix of exhaustion, regret, and just disappointment. Here's what I told her, and what I'll tell you now. The only wasted time is the time you spend believing it's too late. The second you start, even with $25 a month, you're shifting your future. You're giving compound growth time to work its magic. You're creating options. And you don't need to be perfect. You don't need to max out everything or become a finance nerd overnight. You just need to begin. So let's talk about that beginning. Because if you've never invested before, or if you tried once and gave up, it probably feels overwhelming. Like there's a whole other language you missed out on. But I promise you, it's simpler than it seems. One of the most powerful shifts you can make right now is this. Stop thinking about investing as something only rich people do, or something you do after you've figured it all out. Start seeing it as something that belongs in your everyday life, right alongside grocery runs and paying the water bill. That's how I started. I was 35. I didn't come from money. I wasn't making 6 figures. But I had finally gotten to a place where I was tired of feeling like every month was just a survival sprint. So I opened a very basic account, nothing fancy, no day trading, just a standard low-fee investment account. I started with $50 a month, and I'll be honest, it felt silly at first, like what was $50 going to do? But what it did was change me. I started paying attention, I started learning, I started building confidence, and from there, I was able to slowly increase what I invested, $75, then $100, then a little more when I got a raise. Not overnight, not perfectly, but steadily. And that's what I want you to see today, the power of small, steady action. You don't have to go big, you just have to go consistently. Now let's talk about where to begin. The first simple strategy, and this is especially important in your 30s and 40s, is to treat investing like a bill. I know that sounds weird at first, but stay with me. When you treat investing like a leftover, like something you'll do if there's money left at the end of the month, it almost never happens. Something always comes up, a broken fridge, a school fee, a surprise trip to the vet. Life happens, and suddenly you're back to square one. But when you make investing a line item, just like your internet bill or your car insurance, it becomes part of your routine. Even if it's just $30 or $100 a month, it matters. That money starts working for you, not just sitting in a checking account or disappearing into takeout and impulse buys. This mindset shift alone, paying your future self first, can be a game changer. It builds the habit. And habits are what grow wealth, not lottery wins or one-time windfalls. And here's something I learned the hard way. You don't have to wait until you have no debt to start. A lot of people get paralyzed thinking they can't invest until every credit card is paid off or the student loans are gone. But the truth is, if you're waiting for a perfectly clean slate, you may never start. You can do both. Pay down your debt and start investing, strategically in small amounts. They can coexist. What matters most is that you begin, that you break the mental block of "I'm too late" and replace it with "I'm just getting started." And that's more than enough. So whether you're feeling overwhelmed, behind, or just plain unsure of what to do next, you're not alone. And you're not stuck. There are simple, clear steps you can take that fit your life, your budget, your pace. And when you take them, even slowly, you'll be surprised at how quickly things start to shift. Not just your bank account, but your mindset, your confidence, your sense of possibility. Let's keep going. So you've made the mental shift. Investing is no longer something you wait to do one day. It's something you fit into your life now, like any other non-negotiable. That one change alone can make a world of difference. But what happens after that? Because let's be real, saying "I'm going to start investing" and actually doing it are two very different things. Maybe you've tried before. You opened an app, picked a few stocks, and then panicked when the market dipped. Or maybe you spent hours watching videos, researching ETFs, and then got so overwhelmed you just closed the tab and made dinner instead. It's normal. You're not lazy or behind. You're a busy adult trying to navigate a world that makes money management feel like decoding ancient texts. So, let's break down the second strategy. Automate what you can, so you don't have to rely on willpower. Because here's the truth. We all have great intentions. But intentions don't transfer money into an investment account. Automation does. Set up a recurring transfer, even something small, like $25 or $100, from your checking account to your investment account every payday. Just like direct deposit. No decision fatigue, no should I or shouldn't I. It happens on autopilot in the background of your life. You wouldn't forget to pay your rent or your electricity bill, right? Because they happen automatically. You've created systems to make sure those important things get taken care of without fail. Your investments deserve the same treatment. And this isn't about perfection. It's about consistency. I had a viewer once message me and say, "I can only do $40 a month. That feels pointless." And I get it. But I reminded her, $40 a month invested consistently for 10 years with average market returns could grow into thousands. It's not about the amount, it's about the pattern. Once she got that set up, she told me it was the first time she felt like her money was working for her, not just through her. Now let's talk about where to put that money. And I know this is where a lot of people hit the wall, because the second you start hearing about Roth IRAs, index funds, tax advantages, it's like, wait, do I need a finance degree for this? You don't. Let's keep it simple. Let's keep it simple. The third strategy is this. Focus on broad, low-cost investments you understand. One of the biggest mistakes people make in their 30s and 40s when they're just getting started is chasing complexity. They hear someone talking about biotech stocks or international markets or real estate syndications, and they feel like that's what smart investors do. But here's the thing. Smart investors aren't flashy. They're consistent. They build wealth slowly, steadily, and with strategies that don't depend on perfect timing or insider tips. That's why many financial educators, including myself, recommend starting with something as boring and beautiful as an index fund. An index fund is like a big basket of investments, usually stocks, that tracks the overall market. When you buy into one, you're not betting on one company. You're buying a piece of many companies. It spreads your risk. It grows with the economy. And best of all, it doesn't require you to constantly check or manage it. You can find index funds in most retirement accounts, like a 401k or Roth IRA, or through regular brokerage accounts using investing apps. And the fees? often less than a cup of coffee per year. Seriously. And that brings us to something a lot of people overlook when they start late. You might already have access to tools and accounts, you just don't know it yet. So here's the fourth strategy. Use what's already available to you, especially through work. If your job offers a 401k or any kind of retirement plan, don't ignore it. Even if you can't contribute much, get started. If there's a company match, take it. That's literally free money. And I don't know about you, but free money still sounds pretty great in your 30s and 40s. If you don't have a plan at work, no problem. There are other options, like opening a Roth IRA if you're eligible. These accounts come with serious tax advantages. And the earlier you start, even in your mid-30s, the more those benefits stack up. But again, don't get lost in the weeds. Don't wait until you've read every article or watched every video. Action beats information paralysis every time. Here's what this looked like for me personally. When I finally sat down to get serious about investing, I was so overwhelmed by all the different account types and options that I nearly gave up again. But I reminded myself, progress over perfection. I chose a single index fund in a Roth IRA, set up automatic monthly contributions, and just let it run. I didn't pick the perfect fund. I didn't wait until I had thousands saved up. I just started with what I had and trusted the process. And that's what I want for you. Not some perfect, optimized portfolio built overnight, but a real human approach that fits your life today. Because here's the truth that no one tells you in your 30s or 40s. You don't need to be extraordinary to build wealth. You just need to start and stick with it longer than most people do. Let go of the shame. Let go of the pressure to catch up all at once. Let go of the idea that you need to know everything before you do anything. Your future isn't built on giant leaps, it's built on small, repeated steps, done with courage and consistency. So if you've been waiting for a sign, or for everything to feel right, or for that perfect moment to begin, let this be your sign. The best time to start was yesterday. The second best time, it's right now. You've got this. It's funny, isn't it? How once we finally give ourselves permission to begin, just as we are, the fear starts to loosen its grip. And what's left is something a little more honest. Not panic, not regret, just a quiet hope that maybe we can still do this. So far, we've talked about mindset shifts, automation, simplicity, and using what's already within reach. But here's one last piece of the puzzle that might surprise you, and it's arguably the most important. Don't do this in isolation. So many of us carry our money worries like secrets. We don't talk about our lack of savings, our confusion around investing, or the fact that we're not where we thought we'd be. We stay silent because we're afraid of looking foolish, irresponsible, or behind. But that silence keeps us stuck. You'd be amazed at how many people in your life, smart, capable, hardworking people, feel the exact same way you do. They've got bills, kids, debt, uncertainty. They're trying to make smart choices while juggling a million other things. And most of them are also wondering, am I too late? You are not the exception. You are not alone. You are simply human, and being human means you get to change, learn, and grow, no matter where you start. So if you're ready to move forward, find your people. That might mean joining an online community focused on financial wellness. It might mean having a real, vulnerable conversation with a friend or partner. It might even mean working with a financial advisor. Just make sure it's someone who explains things in a way you understand, without talking down to you. Because the truth is, investing doesn't have to be lonely. In fact, it's better when it's not. When I started talking about money more openly, I realized that some of the people I admired the most were also figuring it out in real time. One friend confessed she'd only just opened her first investment account at 41. Another admitted he'd been investing for years, but had no idea what his portfolio actually contained. We laughed, we shared what we learned, and we reminded each other. We're all just doing the best we can with the information we have. That's all this is. And the more you talk about it, the less scary it becomes. The more normal it feels to say, hey, I just put $75 into my Roth this month. Or, I'm trying out this budgeting app to free up some cash to invest. These little conversations create ripple effects. They build accountability. They turn quiet, personal goals into shared momentum. And that momentum, it's everything. Because once you start even small, you begin to believe new things about yourself. You're no longer someone who's bad with money. You're someone who's learning. You're no longer too far behind. You're someone who's on a path now, one that's steady, intentional, and sustainable. You're someone who is taking care of their future self, one decision at a time. And look, will there be setbacks? Probably. Life has a way of throwing curveballs. Your car might need repairs. A medical bill might pop up. You might miss a month or 3 of investing because life got messy. That doesn't undo your progress. That doesn't mean you failed. We don't measure growth by how perfect the journey looks. We measure it by how willing we are to come back to it again and again, even when it's hard, even when we've taken a detour, even when we're scared. So, let me say this plainly. You have not missed your chance. You are not too old. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be to begin. And just by watching this, you already have. You've already taken the first step, choosing to pay attention, to care about your future, to believe that something better is possible. And if you've made it this far in the video, I want to thank you, truly. Because I know it's not always easy to sit with this stuff. It can stir up old guilt, doubt, or shame, but it can also light a spark, and I hope that spark stays with you. Before we wrap up, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What's one thing you're taking away from this? Or better yet, what's one small step you're going to take this week, even if it's just researching an account or setting a reminder? Let's make this a space where we encourage each other, not compare, where we move forward together, without shame, without judgment. And hey, if this video helped you at all, it would mean the world if you hit that like button and subscribed, not just to support the channel, but to keep this conversation going. I've got more videos coming your way to help you build confidence around money, career, and life as a whole. But more than anything, I want to leave you with this. No matter how late you think you are, it's never too late to start building a better future. Your timeline doesn't have to match anyone else's. Your path doesn't have to be perfect. And your story? It's still being written. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to take one brave step at a time. Your story isn't stuck. You're just getting started.